So as of last week, we had some drama around the game Fire Emblem Fates, aka Fire Emblem If in Japan, and it's just been one thing after another with this fucking game. Um, well, not only with this, but with Nintendo of America as a whole. And I'm just gonna talk about Nintendo of America because that is the territory I live in, pretty much. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, well, to start, I'm very open with my Nintendo fanboyism, I would say, and with Nintendo of America, they make it very hard, make it kind of hard to support, just Nintendo, which is the company I. Well, it's not that I have like some like weird, crazy attachment to them, but it's just I like their products. Basically, is what it comes down to is a business relationship, I would say, and well, ever since like I would say the latter part of the last generation, all up until where this generation began. It's just been one thing after another, after another, after another. Just controversy, just bullshit that shouldn't have, could have been averted very quick. And although I have this Nintendo fan love, whatever you want to call it, fanboyism. Uh, I've been very, very openly critical of them. I've made a video before where I criticized the eShop because to this day I still don't think it is what it could be. And to be honest, I like Steam and Sony better because uh, the account system is just better. Everything's better with their like electronic shop system, whatever you want to call it. Um, so basically, what happened is, you got this game, Fire Emblem Fates. There was this whole controversy. I think last summer-ish, where basically somebody mistranslated something and made it seem like the main character drugged the girl into becoming a non-lesbian or something, and then now we have this where there's a petting minigame in Japan and the Japanese version of it, but we're not gonna get it now. And that's where I come. This is where I guess the double-edged sword comes in because I like this game. Like I wanna play this game. I wanna support this game. I wanna fucking double dip and buy two versions of this game, but I I don't know. I don't like censorship. I don't approve of just botching the product that for all intents and purposes should have been brought over in its pure form. Um, so let's take it back a little bit, shall we? Uh, let's go back to around 2011, 2012. We had the whole thing with a lot of the Wii's library, the original Wii's library. It remained in Japan, and so basically Nintendo of America, they said for the longest time that they wouldn't localize three games, which were The Last Story, Xenoblade, Pandora's Tower. And, everybody knows there's the story. Xenoblade, Last Story came out in 2012, pretty much opened the floodgates for JRPGs to become, like, relevant again. And, that story ended well, for what it was. But as of recently, it seems that Nintendo of America especially has been doing their best to just like make everybody mad. I was really hyped for Fatal Frame 5 and Devil's Third. And basically what happened with Fatal Frame 5, they didn't release it in a physical format. So, you have the Wii U, which, it's a decent console, I'm not gonna lie. It could be better. It lacks features. We're gonna get into that a little more here in a second. Um, But yeah, they released Fatal Frame 5, a almost 10-digit download on a system which, the biggest hard drive that it comes with is like a 30, it's like a 30 gig, and that sucked. And not only did they just not release the game on a disc, but they also removed some content from it and altered some scenes in it, which doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're gonna tell me that they fucking translated the game, dubbed it, and then they're just not gonna release it in a physical format and like try to hype it up. And then the same for Devil's Third. They for the longest time they wouldn't tell us when the game would come out, and then when it did, it fucking if you didn't pre-order, you pretty much got shafted because the game fucking spiked in price because they only printed like 10 copies of it. So there's those two things, and then there's like the deal with you know they keep they keep putting memes, like internet memes, in the games. That's horrible, I think. That's fucking cringy, in my opinion. I mean, internet memes are only really funny, quote unquote, on the internet. and they shouldn't be video games like in general. Just it's just been a bunch of bullshit as of lately in gaming, like people trying to censor things, people trying to like take away things, and I want to address some of the arguments that some of the people that I guess have been defending the whole Fire Emblem Nintendo of America's choice to I guess I would say botch the game. I mean, from the title of this video, probably those kind of people think that I'm like some crazy Japanophile, weeaboo, crazy anime-loving, hentai jerking off to masturbator guy. I don't know, man. Like, it seems to be that there's this false dichotomy where if you don't like the fact that we're getting a botched version, and that's in my opinion a botched version of the game, then you're just like this crazy, rabid, just Japanese Japanophile piece of shit. And on the other side, you got people, that think that if you are that if you support the decision, I guess, of Nintendo of America, then you gotta be like some like weird, I guess, communist type. I don't know. A lot of the people that are making these arguments, I really respect. Like, they're gonna go unnamed for now, but a lot of these people, they were trying to like, I guess, kind of like poison the well, sort of like sidestep by saying that this it's not a big deal, you guys. It's not a big deal. You got the Wii U, it lacks features. There's bigger issues at hand, and yeah, that may be a thing, but for now we're talking about games, software. We're not talking about hardware. We're not talking about features. I mean, we're talking about games and we're talking about localization, which you figured we shouldn't be talking about these things because you figure after the 90s we got gotten over this whole like censoring games and changing them up and making them more kosher, and that brings me to Nintendo's, I guess, response to the whole controversy, where they said, and I quote, Yes, that is the case. You might have heard somewhat misinterpreted or exaggerated information about the Japanese original game, but even in the Japanese original version, we have not included any features which are considered inappropriate in Japan. Which, if that's the case, then why are they removing things from the game in the West? That doesn't make any sense. And not even that, like, not even the whole thing with the features or with the localization or anything, but, some people uh, they're acting like Fire Emblem, I guess mattered. I'm not trying to like downplay the series, or because I really love, I like it when Nintendo does crazy things. I like it when they do like, things that I guess people won't like, they don't remember, like, things that are left field, like Custom Robo and Chibi Robo, fucking Golden Sun, and I like all those games. And there's a pool of people, a fairly, I would say, fairly big pool of people that appreciate and love those games, but that pool is not, it's not ever expanding, and it's not big, it's not the ocean that they want it to be. So then when Fire Emblem Awakening came out, Fire Emblem was pretty much like ain't nobody fucking cared about it. um so people want to talk about like fucking weebs being all over Fire Emblem. That's because weebs pretty much saved Fire Emblem. If it weren't for weebs, like uh fucking wanting their Lucina figures and their fucking wanting to cosplay as Crom or whatever the fuck, then we probably wouldn't have Fire Emblem Awakening be the success that it was, and we wouldn't be talking about Fire Emblem Fates. So the whole thing with the features, the whole thing uh with the weeaboo stuff, that's what I don't get. Like, it's not only the thing that they're cutting features from a role-playing game, which should let you immerse yourself as much as possible and get in touch with the characters, literally. And one last thing I want to say to the Fire Emblem people, I guess, before I move back into Nintendo of America for a little bit more, is, in Fire Emblem Fates, they added this homosexual marriage feature, which was new for the series. And, they were touting this as like this new thing. But if in America, if in the West, they removed this feature, that would have been it, like, all the mainstream sites would have been going on about it. It would be on the news. It would be all over the internet. Twitter would be fucking losing its mind for a whole weekend. And that's why I don't get. Is like, if they remove the petting minigame, that's like fine or whatever, and it won't break the game. But if they remove this homosexual marriage feature which which for all intents and purposes, it would still not break the game. In fact, I think that not only would people be more mad about it, but Nintendo of America would probably be, they would probably double down some more. And they would probably be more vindictive in their choice of removing the homosexual marriage if they did it. But that's a hypothetical, I guess, because that never had. I don't think that would happen. This transitions into Nintendo of America. There's a lot of ideological people over at Nintendo of America, and I don't really mean that in a derogative way or a bad way by any means. But you know, it's about time we stop kidding ourselves and you know try to realize that the stuff that they want to change is not it's not gonna like save their jobs or give them like this big bonus or whatever. And I'm not trying to presume to know what their job is or whatever, but you know, it seems that whatever doesn't print amiibos or whatever, they won't like advertise or hype up or whatever. Like I mentioned with Fatal Frame 5 and Devil's Third and those games, it just seems that whatever it's like new or something, or they can't really like print an amiibo off of, they don't care about. And I mean, I don't know if that comes from Nintendo of Japan, like if that kind of mindset just kind of trickled down from there. But I don't know why this decision's at Nintendo of America. I don't know if they have to do anything with the way that they do their jobs, the way that they're gonna get paid, the way that they're gonna get bonuses, or if it has anything to do with keeping a clean as possible image, so that whenever it comes time for this theme park that they've been promising at, that whenever that comes out, none of this baggage, I guess, comes back to bite them in the ass. Um, Other than that, I don't know what else to say about it, other than I hope that somebody in the industry has the balls to tell Nintendo of America, tell the people over there, some of the more I guess ideological ones, that it's about time that games are treated like the art form that everybody claims them to be, and art shouldn't be censored or messed with in any way. So that's all I want to say really. Uh, More videos coming soon, I guess.